everyone, my name is Chris, and welcome to another exciting remote video location of Comic Cave Podcast. My name is Chris, along with my hetero life mate, Mr.
Russ.
And we are here with our special guest, Mr. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Karl.
Carl, Captain Carl. I like that from the Pee Wee Show. And we are here in the wonderful culture world. Russell, I'm in heaven. And the only reason why I'm in heaven right now is because there's this bunch of wrestling apparel, wrestling figures, and we don't get this from anywhere else that we've gone to.
I don't know.
Thank
I'm a
you
little
so much.
lost on this side, but this side over here, that's kind of like my world. Over there, a little bit more my world.
We're going to give a tour of the grand place here at Culture World. But first, Carl, please introduce yourself. Well, you've introduced yourself, but give more detail on this awesome store.
All right, guys. My name is Karl, and I'm locally from Houston, and teamed up with a wonderful group of people, and we opened up Culture World. We all brought our things together to where it's wrestling, Hot Wheels, sports memorabilia, Pokemon, you name it. We've come together and vintage stuff, and we've made a Culture World, and we teamed up, and that's what we do here.
It's a very big culture here at Culture World.
This is one of how many locations?
We had another previously at Traders Village, but we formed this one. So
Okay, so Traders Village moved over here. Gotcha. Come check out the new location.
Now, we first found you guys at Legacy. We've done
our
an
boy.
interview with Legacy. We've done like several interviews with
Yeah.
Legacy in the past, and go check out some of his music. But that's how we found this place. His parents run this place, and they own
Yes.
it.
Yeah, we're all partners together.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
And you are you do the day-to-day operations?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, man, tell us about all the stuff. You got boxing, you got sports, you got old school sports, you have
this
wrestling.
is the first shop I think that we've done that's not just like comic related stuff. You guys definitely got some of the sports memorabilia as well. Definitely noticing a lot of the wrestling.
And as you can see,
Yeah,
I
right.
got 30 pounds of 10 pounds of gold right here.
So pop culture in general. What made you guys want to start up the whole pop culture thing?
Everybody, for love of growing up, watching all the VHS tapes and looking at all the different collectibles. A lot of those stuff I had when I was a kid, or just kept them and bought extras. And then you know how it goes. Once you get your own money and you start buying everything you didn't have as a kid and building up, and it turns into
relate.
this. So, but and then just seeing all the different people in the world nowadays that they think that something's new that's come up, and it's like, no, we've already had that. It's already regurgitating itself. But that's how this started, and just picking up here and there and find out what people like and just go from there. So
it's grown. Was it more originally on the sports side, and you kind of went into the comic
what
side?
it was
with
is
toys,
when I originally had a shop in College Station, and when the pandemic hit, they shut the whole market down. The whole market shut down, and I was out at Traders and bumped into these guys, and they were like, "Hey, what do you used to have anything?" And I'm like, "Do I still have anything?" I said, "No, I still have a few things." And believe it or not, man, this is just a drop in the bucket. There's a lot more personal collection and stuff like that, or just even extras, that I have. Just getting it all together in one remote location to say, "Hey, here we go. This is what I have." And then, of course, you meet people. "Hey, I have this collection. I need money. I need this." And it's like, wow, okay, I'll take it. Or they just got out and they changed hobbies, or they have a new baby, whatever. You see it. You see it all. But this is mostly just everybody's personal collection type stuff.
all pieced together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we've talked about this right now, but I want to say how just through time you get your inventory, you buy stuff, or because you have a lot of stuff from the 80s and stuff like sports. Like back here we have some Oilers stuff from, I want to say 1990. You just get lucky and find this stuff.
We teamed up with different people around town, different promoters, different other businesses that, hey, I'm bringing these guys in. Hey, would you want to meet this guy? I'm a real big fan of movies, of course, but Blood In, Blood Out, and I met those guys. So what I've been doing is when I meet them, I get them on different stuff. Magic, I got him on a jersey. He played football for the Dolphins, so I had him put his line on there. Crucito, I had him put I'm a lover, not a fighter on boxing gloves for me, just different things like that. I had him sign some Dexter cars, just whatever goes with different things besides the DVD cover. But meeting up with different people, talking to different people, getting to know different people. Hey, I knew a guy that did this. Hey, you want to come do a show with us, or you want to come do this, or anything like that? And it's like, okay, that's how you get your inventory, because then they move on, or hey, I think you'll do better with the Dallas Cowboys stuff over there, or I think, and we just trade or make it happen, So
Oh, that's beautiful. It's also very unique. It sounds like you're not just getting signatures and stuff. You're actually like getting little notes and things.
Yes.
Hey man, that's awesome. A little spin on it. It separates you guys from like everybody else, I'm sure.
Exactly.
So, what's in your kind of like personal collection that you kind of like brought in over here?
It was the wrestling, the
Most
big
of the
time
wrestling
wrestling.
stuff?
Yes,
Hell
sir.
yeah, wrestling.
The autograph jerseys, and the Hot Wheels, the cars.
I was noticing a lot of the Hot Wheels.
The cars, that was my biggest thing on it. And then when I met these guys, they were already doing it a little bit of here, a little bit of there. Most of theirs was the Pokemon cards, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you name it, that type of stuff. They were booming with it. So I was like, how about we just come together, and just make it happen. But I, like you said though, the collections, the music too, that's another big thing of mine too.
Yeah, you guys are definitely all over the place with it. So how did you actually meet up with Culture World, and like how did you guys end up connecting?
So actually, I've known the family for, I didn't realize I knew them, but I worked with a couple of them at previous jobs, and I didn't even know they were related, to be honest with you. And then we just teamed up. We just got together.
Did you run into them like at
Traders Village?
At Traders
Yes, sir.
Village?
Yes,
okay.
sir. Went out there to go see other people to get other merchandise, and then it was like, what's this? And it's like, yeah, this is our shop. I'm like, wow, okay. I was like, that's cool. They were like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I have a shop out in College Station.
Right.
And that was fun too, but you see the different demographics over there as well. You have that time period where all the college students leave.
Right.
And it's like, there's no more customers. They're all gone, and then when they come back, it's, hey, you got this new, and you try to meet all your customers' needs on that. But other than that, we just made it happen like that.
Kind of on that note, sounds like you've been doing this for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
What are the like the trends with that? So being in College Station, right? You're gonna have more people there during college times, and then during summer, whatever, when they all leave. Do you find trends now that you're here in Houston of like times that business gets more busy?
So on the trend part we talked about it before, where it's whatever's happening locally, whatever happening in world news, or who just made a comeback, that type of deal. That's how you know, because you also still have your true fans, to where it's, I'm a Oiler fan till I die. Right. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
I love you, Blue.
You have all those different things like that. And when those guys come through, your diehard fans, and you also know your bandwagon guys.
Right.
And it happens, especially we're in October, so all of a sudden baseball is hot now. So if you weren't a baseball fan before, you're one now.
Gotcha.
And it's like, okay, wow. It's like, then, sorry to say, but bandwagon jumpers happen. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I'm an Astros fan. It's like, weren't you wearing a Yankees jersey last week? You see a lot of that, and it's like, wow, okay. But you just have to know your area, know your calendar, know what's going on. Yes, sir. Know current events. So,
gotcha.
Now we ask this to all of our store owners and store runners. What are you interested in? What is in your collection, personal collection? Like,
my personal
what do you
collection.
like? What do you like do you like the Voltrons? You like the Transformers? You like the wrestling?
Yeah.
Because I came over here and I was like, hey, I heard you guys had WWF Hasbros. Hit me up if you guys have Hasbros.
So that's my personal collection, is the Hasbros,
Nice.
the LGNs, autographed guitars by Chris Jericho.
Oh my God.
Ace Frehley guitars signed.
My
God. You name it.
So you're heavy in the music scene and stuff as well.
I have a lot of music, yes, sir. Corey Taylor autograph stuff, Slipknot stuff.
How do you decide like what's you're keeping in your personal collection versus what you're willing to let go?
So
is there a price on anything and everything?
No. So
because I see a Stone Cold belt over there.
No. It's what people have either given me in the past, or I actually got to meet him. My daughter got to meet Jericho when she was 3, and he put her on his lap.
Wow.
And he actually took a picture with her playing the guitar, and our training actually, like, they're doing it.
Yeah.
And he signed it for Fonzie, and ready to go. And those are personal things that just I always keep them near and dear. Get to meet different people. Got to meet Kamala before he passed away, and
wow.
I made a mask of him, a big old mask, and I actually got him to sign it, and he loved it. He acted like he choke slammed me, and those are memorable things that you just can't sell, because once you sell
can't
that,
put a price on.
Exactly,
right,
your whole thing just goes.
Do you have the infamous Kamala Hasbro with the moon tummy?
No, I wish I did.
Man.
I have a loose regular one, but not the moon. No moon.
So your Hasbros. Tell me more about the Hasbros, and are you willing to sell them to me? Because
I have some that I'm willing to part with, that I have extras.
I'm down for that.
But I had to get them together. Most
Russell, you
definitely.
see, I'm glad that we came over here. Rob.
Well, yeah, and I have a question. So maybe both of y'all can educate me on this, because yeah, I'm wrestling. I don't understand. I don't know. Not really my forte. But why is some of that stuff so hard to find, and like what makes it so valuable?
So
If you don't mind me.
what it is too, and believe it or not, it's like this with all the toys.
Yeah.
Some of the most weirdest or some of the most off or not so popular characters, they become big. I hate to say it, when they end up passing away, or when they have their own miniseries on Netflix or something like that. Next thing you
Right.
know, that's an important figure. It's the same thing with the Hot Wheels. It's everything. So you'll have a figure that sat on the shelf for years, and all of a sudden, oh wow, he's the next big superstar, or he's the next, something happened, or he passes. Oh, I have to have it. And I hate to say it, that's
Got
what turns into big money, or
Right.
that turns into stuff like that. So
No, I know definitely I've done that myself. These new NXT, they're not new now, they're main rosters. But whenever Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens came on the scene, I was like, who the hell are these ham and eggers? But then I'm the biggest fan of Kevin Owens, and I love Sami Zayn and everything that he does. Also, having to deal with the old WWF Hasbros, nostalgia is what we had as kids, is what we played
Nostalgia,
with
it
and stuff
seems to
like
be-
that. Yeah, nostalgia's. You can put a price on stuff, and nostalgia's the biggest thing on there.
oh
but
yeah, most definitely. Or you watched that person with your dad, or
Right.
your
Right.
uncle, or you ran around in your underwears wrestling, with the cape on, different things like that you remember. Like, oh, I remember Junkyard Dog, or I
Right, right,
remember those things right there. And then when you see the figure, like, wow, it may not be worth anything to you or value,
Right.
but to you, it's very personal. It's very
Right.
precious to you. So
So then, on that kind of note, separating your emotions and your personal attachment to some of the stuff, how do you price what you have?
for your personal, you don't let it leave the house. You don't let it leave the room. It stays in there.
Stays locked up in the vault.
Yeah, because it comes out, it's like it's not gonna come back.
Get you.
It won't come back, because then somebody will come in and be like,
That's true.
What
That's
is that?
true.
Yeah.
Just recently we sold some stuff that I picked up years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna sell it for $25 to get rid of it. Little did I know they were gonna go for 120. And it's like,
man.
wow, I wouldn't have paid that for that, but
Right.
I know what it was. And it was the fans. It was the I love that movie.
So there's like niche markets for
Yes,
some
sir.
of it that kind of
Yes,
like
sir.
jack up the price for them
Yes, sir.
specifically.
Yes, and they do it for themselves, because now you have all these different companies or these different bidding wars that happen,
Right.
and it's like, wow, that escalated quickly. Or it goes the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a card that was worth $300. Oh, now it's worth $10, and it's like, wow,
What's something that you see kind of devaluing on that note? How do
believe it
you-
or not, the cards,
Okay.
the sports cards,
it's just
they're
not
booming.
popular.
No, they're booming. But what it is now is it has to be graded. It has to be, not certified, but just graded. And then all of a sudden, this $1 card turns into 300. And
Okay.
it's like, how does that work? Because it's graded. It's an investment now. You see kids all the time when you set up a booth. They pop up and they got their phones out. They're scanning
Yeah.
with the apps. Oh, this card's $5. You have it at 10. It's like, well, yeah, that's a big thing you have to look out for,
Mhm.
because one, you're not going to get that Kobe card again. You're not going
Right.
to get Michael Jordan card again. But what the app they're scanning with, I think that they're all together to where it's you're the person that's telling me how much it is, and you're the person that's grading them. Next thing you know, it's bam. Here's what we're going to sell it for, because I don't know if y'all remember, but the Marvel Masterpiece cards back.
Yeah.
in
I have
94,
those.
Yeah.
Do you know those cards graded $20 to $30, or not graded $20 to $30, graded $500? So
Holy
explain
crap.
that.
Like graded each, or like as I said.
No, as one. The Deadpool that's in there.
You need
There's
to
a
get those
Deadpool.
graded, dog.
There's a Deadpool that's in there. Non-graded is $25 all day long. Different websites, different eBay, that type of stuff. Graded $500. $450.
How would because I'm starting to venture into this graded thing, because I'm starting to get graded comics too.
Yes, yes.
And I just lost my graded, damn it, Static X comic to Russell, bastard. But I do have other graded comics too and stuff like that. And I want to grade some comics, but I feel like that adventure for me right now is very expensive, because just to grade it and just to send it off, it's like $70 a book.
Yes.
So that was actually going to be my question: is it for the CGC? It's pretty expensive. Is it the same for like the cards and
So
stuff? Is it a
cards,
different company, or
We did a show. There's different Beckett, Fusion, DCI. There's groups all over the place. And of course, you want the big name, you want PSA, you want Beckett to grade them, but there's also other companies that are doing it with AI intelligence that there's no bias, there's none of that type of stuff.
Really?
So when they do that, it depends on when you want it. If you're at the show and you want that card that day, it's $200 extra, $150 extra. It depends. Or you mail it off. A lot of people don't like to do because you got a $500 card you're sending off. What happens if it gets lost? So it depends. Or damaged.
Right.
Or, oh, I have a treasure, and next thing you know, you get it back, and it's like, oh, that's it. It's more for either you're gonna be for your personal collection or resell. You know, so it values. It goes up.
Does
how much it costs.
It sounds like you guys have gotten different things. I've seen some of your cards graded over there, and earlier you were kind of talking about getting there's a story that he was telling us before the show with, what was it, shirts or something, or the signatures. Is the process different for those? Or?
So some of them, there's different COAs, the certificate of authenticity. Either there's Beckett, there's PSA, there's JSA, there's all these different companies out there. But then also too, and you have to be careful with this, there's other ones to where you can guarantee it too that it's authentic. But who are you? You know, you don't have that history.
There's more validity with certain companies.
Because there's companies out there that have done wrong, you know, that's burned people, and then I've never gotten burned, but I've seen it to where it's, oh wow, it's authenticated by this person. It's not worth anything because that authenticator went bankrupt or they quit because they got some bad stuff that happened.
Damn, it really works like that?
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's
so like
hard.
A grading can mean nothing if like a certain company that
the authentication can mean nothing if that company's not anything. But also too, and I've done it too, to where you have a $5 picture and I got signed. Are you gonna pay me $40 for it if I get it authenticated? Probably not. It's gonna cost me $40. So why am I gonna pay you to take it? So what I'll do is I'll have a picture of them at the signing, and I'll make a little card that says, you know, witnessed by, you know, Culture World, and here's your authentication.
You can almost
with
like,
the picture.
I don't want to say bootleg authentication, but like, what do they call that? Like a poor man's copyright in
a
way?
No, and that's exactly right too. I've seen people do that too, where they meld it to themselves and it's like, look, it's authentic now, and it's like, no, that's not authentic.
They really try to do a poor man's copyright with this stuff. Wow.
Believe it. Or they make one they'll put it on the old school certificate that you got from first grade, you know, the little legal paper, the document paper, and they'll put it on there and make it look nice. I hear certified, this picture signed by Jake the Snake. Wait a minute. Anybody could have made that paper.
Right.
But you want to trust everybody, but you really can't. You know, that's any business. But yeah, it happens.
So is there what's like kind of a wild time? Have you ever caught somebody trying to pass something off that was authentic that wasn't?
We had a guy, believe it or not, it happened at Traders. He came in, he's like, yeah, I got this ball. And what it was is it was authenticated. It looked like it was authenticated by like a mom and pop certificate. Yeah. And what it was is it was a Craig Biggio. And hey, yeah, he hit 3,000. This and I was like, that's not his signature. And the way they signed it in a Sharpie. So it's a little like
smudged
thicker,
or whatever.
It's thicker signature because his is real. I know, I've been collecting his autographs for years, and that was not his. She said that she got it at a charity. She paid $800 for it.
So she got scammed.
She got scammed.
Dang.
And she wasn't trying to scam us.
Yeah.
What it was is she brought in because she got it from there, and I've seen it too, where people got movie posters signed, and it's like, that's not their autographs. Or believe it or not, a lot of these artists during the pandemic, you know, they sold their albums.
Right.
And they sold their albums, and when they did it, they signed them and sent them out. Well, there's some of those artists that had their secretary sign them, or they did an auto pen signature. And it's like, wow, you still got the record, but at the same time, it's like, wow, that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah. It was hand signed. They weren't doing concerts at that time. So you get both sides of it too. So
you said there was like a machine signing something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Auto pen, where they go through and they type their signature in, they scan it, and they just sign them. Yes, sir. And they've been doing it for years.
Is that supposed to just be like a quicker way for them to sign off more stuff, or is it
kind of? No, but it's not even a signature. It's literally part of the actual item. It's sort of like when they do a simile autograph, they just put it on the ball, like a souvenir ball.
I get you.
So it's sort of like that too. And you know, and I hate to say it too, you see people that come in with, oh, my grandpa gave me this ball, and it's like, that was from Dairy Queen back in 1985. You know, you know, and it's like, you know, but they've been carrying this for so long. Oh yeah, Nolan Ryan signed this, and it's like, that's not a signature. That's an auto pen. But Dairy Queen gave away. You got a Blizzard and you got a free ball. Back in the day,
Yeah.
sort of like these Happy Meals right now. It's like, come on now, $20 for 2 people to eat. No,
Right.
can't do it.
So with some of your stuff in here in the shop, like definitely promote your store and promote how people can come and see you and where can they come visit you guys. And I know you guys had the Trailers Village, but now you have this one awesome location. What is some of the stuff that you tried to strive to have in the shelves? Like, is it like American stuff, anime stuff? I mean, sports. Like, what?
Believe it or not, it's everything.
It's everything?
It's everything. And you start talking to different people. You have different people that come in. I'm looking for this, and it's like, where is that? And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, we have that. We had some of that back in the day, and let me go ahead and bring it out. Or you talk to different people. Hey, do you have any of this? Yeah, I got you. I'll bring it over, or I'll trade you, or whatever it looks like. We had a guy come in looking for he was looking for Godzilla stuff. I know that stuff is near and dear to some people's hearts. It's very sought after.
Right.
But he ended up buying Ultraman, and he ended up buying a Godzilla VHS tape. So you see it all. It varies. But the biggest thing is dabble a little bit in everything, not too much. But the good thing about this is there's no trends here. That's what I love, because you can get, as a business owner, if you follow trends, you can go down very quickly, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna buy nothing but hockey jerseys. It's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. It's not.
Right.
It's not that cold down here to wear those all the time, or even to get them signed. But there's fans everywhere. But if you jump on those trends, you're gonna have 1,000 fidget spinners, or you're gonna have stuff like that. So
that kind of answers part of my question, trends along the lines of like trends and stuff. But what do you see as of like right now? What's kind of like the hot cake? What's kind of
right
popping
now?
off the most?
Wrestling, a lot of
Hell yeah.
wrestling, and
Hell
Chevrolet
yeah.
pickup trucks. 1982 Chevrolet pickup trucks, square bodies. Yeah.
The trucks themselves, y'all deal with like auto stuff as
No,
well?
I wish we
was
did.
like,
I
what?
wish I did. Those trucks
Oh.
have the real truck of that has gone from a $5,000 truck to a $10,000 truck. That easy. But the square body trucks,
Okay.
the little
Yeah.
M2s, the Hot Wheels. Every brand has their own square body Chevrolet.
Gotcha.
And a lot of that is sentimental value.
I see you deal with a lot with the Hot Wheels. Do Hot Wheels sell based on like car trends and stuff?
So
Do you see some of that?
yes, we had a lady come in. I had Cybertrucks. She had bought 4 of
From
them.
Tesla?
She had she had to have them. She's never seen them before. She ordered her truck. It's gonna be here in 3 years, and she wanted to give them to her grandkids.
Wow.
Okay, who would have
Yeah.
thought that's what that she would have bought? But,
Not Beanie Babies,
Yes.
Hot Wheels, right?
and that's it's scary. It's scary, but believe it or not, somebody actually came in looking for those one time at Traders,
wow.
and I'm like, really? But she just wanted because it was a sentimental value.
It's a nostalgia
That's all it
thing.
was. Not because it was worth a fortune, but
Right.
that kind of deal. But most of these people that buy the Chevrolet trucks, their grandpa had a truck like that. Their dad had a truck like that.
Mm.
And some of these car companies that come through, the brands, they release a brand, the champagne brown with the tan line in the middle, that Chevrolet color.
Yeah.
They make those. They make those, so it's like my grandpa had one just like that, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you get to do that. And then I know there's guys online that do it to where they go find somebody that has that kind of car and they go put the car on their windshield. That's cool to see too. I've done that. I've been at the Chevrolet.
Right.
I'm like,
I'm gonna get the Batmobile.
I'm
and
like,
put it
wait
on
a
my-
minute. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. That guy's driving an Impala. Hold on. And I'm like, oh, I have a Hot Wheel. So I put it. I threw a guy at the traffic light. And I'm like, here you go. He made his day. He started crying. I put my business card to it.
Whoa.
He called me. He said that his grandfather he inherited that car from his grandfather.
Oh wow.
So you get those sentimental value from people. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay.
So on the note of that, what's another like very sentimental moment that you've come across? Somebody coming in looking for something, and you kind of like help them figure it out.
That way, probably wrestling. So a kid was there with his dad at a show we did, and Dominic was there and Ray was there, and I had the Rey Mysterio and Eddie 2-pack. Well, what it was is, if you follow wrestling, they were fighting over custody of Dominic. So I said, hey, I'm not trying to upsell you, but you may want to, if you're going to spend $100, go buy the 2-pack and go get him to sign it. So that guy goes up there with his son, same age as Dominic at that time period, and they got Ray to sign it. He's like, man, I appreciate you talking me into buying that, because Ray said he hasn't seen one of those since that toy came out.
Wow.
That was from 2006.
Yeah.
So here's Dominic wrestling right next to him, and there goes Eddie Guerrero right there in the package with him. So when Ray signed it, he's like, you know, who's your daddy or something. He signed some.
Who's your puppy?
Yeah. So the dad loved it. Ever since then, the guys reached out to us, and you know, it's cool to see
Making connections.
Making connections. Next, you know,
Yeah.
you have a customer now that's constantly liking your videos on social media, and it's like, who is that? Oh, that's this guy. You know, we met a guy from Austin. Same thing. He was getting stuff signed for his 2-year-old daughter, Rey Mysterio stuff for her. I was like, is this for her or for for you? He's like, it's for her. It's for her birthday. And he got people to do shout outs on Cameo,
that's
Mick
cool.
Foley, you name it. And it's like, wow, just for a 2-year-old's birthday. But that's gonna be memorable for her now.
Right,
Now she's
right.
gonna have memories of that. So most definitely. So,
Russell, wrestling is not fake.
If you say so.
It deals with emotion. On that note,
Hey.
we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to show off this awesome store here, and we're going to come right back after these messages. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and we are here at the beautiful location of Culture World. We're going to go inside and take a look at what awesome stuff lies ahead. Let's go. So, Carl, as we walk in, tell us what we have here. Oh, my God, an array of football stuff, wrestling stuff. You got everything. Let us know what we have here.
all right. Start out. We have homies. I know everyone remember those from the Bung Gumball machines. Transformers. Got some G1s.
Robots in disguise.
That's it. We have some Aliens versus Predator stuff. Some comics. We have some Venom, of course, Venom stuff. A little bit of horror stuff. You know, going to the season, Back to the Future. Autographed baseballs, footballs, wrestling figures signed, mini helmets signed, you name it.
So you have these authentic footballs signed by the players themselves, I'm
Yes,
assuming?
sir. Yes, sir.
So like, how do you get? I just don't know. Like, how do you purchase the helmet? I'm sure you can go to like an academy, right?
Yeah, you go to you have a lot of it's online now because if you don't live in the area, it's hard to get. So you order the helmet or you go buy it, and then you go to your signing that's going to happen wherever it's going to happen in Houston or in the area. You know somebody going.
Nice.
And you get it signed.
And you got some extra, some in the unopened, sealed foosball here. Some football signed as well. And you have all the little mini helmets. You know what? I know you said you had a little mini helmet. XFL, let me know.
I will let you
Because
know.
XFL, did you have some Barbies? Did the girls come in here and say, let me have some Barbies?
Believe it or not, a lot of it is online sales for the Barbies.
Oh, okay.
Online sales for Barbies.
Now, I hear those are just like the G.I. Joes, the Transformers, and everything else. Those Barbies go for a pretty good amount of money.
Yes, they do. It all depends on the release dates on them or the dressmaker. You know, there's Bob Mackie dolls.
Swarovski crystals in the Barbies.
That's it. So that's the type of stuff that sells. But also too nostalgia time period as well. You know, they had that Barbie when they were a kid or just that time period of their lives. So.
And I like how you have the beautiful Barbies in the Cabbage Patch, and then you have all real monsters. Can you tell the difference? I can't. I can't tell the difference.
Gotta love it.
And then on this side, we have your wall of pops. You have some wrestlers, you have some movies, you have some artists, some musical artists and stuff like that. Fortnite, oh my God, that's a big thing. Some Baby Yoda. So do you have like a pop guy?
Yes, Pops. Once again, you know, that's another half of Culture World. But we all put our hands in that. You know, there's wrestling ones that we've had and we've sold, music related stuff up there at the top. We try to what we like ourselves, but at the same time, it's what the customers are asking for.
And you have Pokemon cards, you have Game Boys. So do the Pokemans, are they in big high demand? I know they're coming back.
A lot? No, there's a lot. There's a lot of people that are looking for Pokemon stuff and the stuff like what we talked about, the nostalgia time period. My mom threw my cards away and when I went to school or whatever that looks like.
So Carl, this isn't it. There's another sector to this awesomeness, this chamber of awesomeness. There's another sector to this place. Let's go visit it right now.
Gotcha.
And here we are, Karl. We've been transported to the mega sector of this location. You have wrestling, you have jerseys, you have sports memorabilia, you have some Marvel stuff. I mean, come on down to Culture World and experience the culture at Culture World. Karl, tell us what we got. And oh my God, he's highlighted on some awesome stuff. Let's go.
We have a little bit of everything. We have wrestling, all the federations. We have shoes, jerseys, vintage, new, autographed. Not just local guys. We have all the outside of legends or Hall of Famers on the sports stuff. We have wrestling masks, the toy belts, autographed photos of wrestlers. A little bit of everything. We have boxing. We even have art. We have our tie-dyed shirts there, our bleached. So.
Now here we have the slobber knocker himself. We have good old JR, and you have other signed 10x10s or what are they?
8x10s.
8x10s. I'm sorry. We have other signed 8x10s. Now are all these authentic? Can
No,
I come to
no.
Culture World?
A lot of them are, but a lot of them, what it is we have authentications that come with them because a lot of those were signed in presence of myself or another member. But a lot of them, they do have authentications of the wrestling and the Randy Orton and JR, but they are authenticated like that. Yes, sir.
Nice. Then we got Booyaka's. We got the Rey Mysterios. I mean, not just Lucha Libres. Just Lucha Libres, a cartoon. We have AEWs. This brand ain't gonna last for very long. They're gonna go they're gonna go out of business soon. So come on down to Culture World and get all you can for AEW stuff, because they're not gonna be around. They're gonna be 10 years from now. Be like, you have that AEW stuff? Let me come down to Culture World and get it. And also we have, and then you have the jersey. You have some Jimmy Hart, baby. Math of the South, Jimmy Hart's some, what do they call these? I can't remember.
8x10s.
8x10s, yeah, 8x10s. Man, you guys are just swarming and all this stuff. I mean, everywhere you come down to Culture World, there's always something new. Like, I've been here for over 2 hours. It's like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Let me buy that. You know what? I'm going to put myself in debt. But thank you guys for joining us. Back to you, Chris, on the announcement. My friend Karl here from Culture World. Come on down. And back to you, Chris, on the interview. Oh, shit. All right. Well, then we'll just place this. Russell will just place this in. Right. We've been transported to yet another sector of this awesome store. I mean, you have Hot Wheels, you have hats, you have, oh wow, Ninja. You have all the stuff from Power Rangers. Talk about some of the stuff, Karl.
We have different things, bobbleheads, mini helmets, like you said, the fitted hats, snapbacks, some vintage, some new.
So the mini helmets, are they a thing? Like, are they a big thing?
Yeah, because a lot of it you get where people went to that school. My son goes to that school, or you need one for a signing coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You can come by and get one of those, and you really take the athletes, the thought process that you found their college that they went to school with or before the NFL, because you can't take that away from them.
Right.
Most definitely.
And here at Culture World, they don't play around. Because if you come out and play Culture World, hey, we're going to give you the business. They're going to give you the business. They're going to give you the business. But then you have the Hot Wheels stuff, and man, you say people, in the upcoming interview, you said people come in and they buy their old cars, they see their old stuff, and they want, I want my car. I want my grandpa's car. I want my grandpa's deuce and a quarter. But I mean, yeah, you have all this awesome stuff here at Culture World. Don't forget to come out. Come on down to Culture World. Give us the address one more time.
It's going to be 6902 FM 2920 in Spring, Texas.
Back to you, Chris and Russ. And we're back, and wasn't that an awesome store? I mean, you saw so much stuff. We saw Pokemon cards. We saw some VHSs. So, sir, tell us more about that. I mean, so much VHS, so many DVDs. I mean, where do you get all your VHS collection from?
Buying it from people, their collections out.
Are those, I've always wanted to know, are VHSs like a niche market? Do people actually like, hey,
yes,
I want a VHS of
there's
whatever?
There's a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of people that we sold.
Is VHSs ironically cool yet?
Yeah, I bring my kids up here all the time, and when they come up, they're like, how do I do this? And I'm like, put the tape in, do this. And they were like, when is it going to start? I'm like, those are previews. You know, they're like, what? I'm like, oh, wow. Because nowadays, everything is streaming.
Right.
There's not even Blu-ray, DVD. There's not even Blu-ray DVDs anymore. None of that stuff. it's streaming it, and it's like, wow, these kids don't even think about previews, commercials, anything. And but we sell a lot. There's guys that do custom work with those VHS tapes.
What you mean custom work?
To where they'll change out the cases, paint them to match the theme of the movie. Yeah, there's a guy out there now he cuts them and puts pops coming out of them. So if it's a Chucky movie, they'll put Chucky coming out of the side, that type of stuff. Yeah, so to repop your collection. So
and your DVDs, you have a lot of DVDs, but also has that become also popular? Like
the DVD, yes,
yeah,
yes. And I always pick them up too because when we collect autograph stuff, you get stuff signed.
Right.
Got to meet Dennis Miller. Got him to sign some DVDs that I got from a thrift store for $1.
Nice.
Got him to sign. He's like, "Where'd you get these from?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. I got them when they came out, you know. But you never know. You never know who you're gonna meet, or I hate to say it, when somebody passes. Here lately, I've been doing TikToks where I do Texas themed, and when I did Patrick Swayze VHS tapes, Billy Bob Thornton, everybody who's from Houston or from Texas. I try to put in the video with the armadillo and say, "Hey, Texas with his friends over here," just different things like that.
Right.
And it's more for those people too, to where it's like, "Oh, he's from Texas. He was my neighbor," or you never know. We grew up with his kids. Yeah, all this, a lot of it is sentimental value for people. You know, it's not so much I want to watch it or even like Halloween's coming up and they got a new Halloween coming out.
Right.
Those tapes are like $25, $30.
Damn.
Depends.
Really?
They're still sealed. You're looking at thousands. They're getting them graded now too. They're getting those graded. So
what does that come in? Comes in like
big
a
old
box? Or
yeah.
whatever?
When you
That's
grade it,
wild.
it comes in about the size of a cereal box.
Are the not to keep going back to the graded stuff, but I've heard of some issues where some like graded stuff, it's not like airtight. Like, do they still seal it or
Yes,
like how
they
does
encapsulate it. Yes, sir. They do encapsulate a lot
so
of it.
it does keep it
Yes, sir.
nice.
So
and
everything
fresh.
that I've seen so far, because you see some older stuff that's like, yeah, no, that something happened there, you know, or there's some dust in there, and I'm like, where'd the dust come from? You know.
Hey, look, I have a sealed Batman Sub-Zero movie VHS. Maybe I need to get that graded.
Believe it or not, you know, so we sold some games and it was Xbox games, Xbox 360. They were still sealed. The guy was like, "Wait a minute, whoa," and I'm like, "Prototype 2? I mean, you want that sealed?" But he was gonna get it graded. He was gonna get
grading video games and stuff too.
He was gonna get it graded.
Man, that's kind of wild. It does. I didn't even think about that. Just the fact that we are going into more of a streaming era. That having like a physical copy of something and getting anything graded. You can get anything graded now.
I mean,
ticket stubs are getting graded now. The Superbad, the first night of Superbad in theaters.
My girl has a whole collection of like ticket stubs.
His girlfriend has like Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
No, they're getting them graded now.
I need to get with her. We're about to have a come up.
No, I saw that the other day, and I'm like, wow, Superbad, first night of Superbad, and it was a guy in, I think it was Florida or something like that, and he got it graded. It came back at I think a 9. And I'm like, how do you grade that? You know, did you wrinkle up and put it in your pocket, or how did that work? You know, because
the authenticity.
Now there's no more tickets anymore, and I know different people, different things, but you still have that person that wants to go down to a show and get the ticket stub. Now everything's pull up your phone.
Right.
Pull up your phone. You know, I talked to a kid one day and he's like, "Yeah, I have a big comic book collection." I'm like, "Where do you store it at? You know, what bags do you use?" Like, "No, it's in my phone." I'm like, "In your phone?" He's like, "Yeah, I got 1 through 75."
Torrent.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
Torrent, you bastard.
I was like, "Wow, okay." I was like, "So what happens when it fails? You're gonna lose all your comics, or what are you gonna hand off to somebody?" You know.
We have a friend that our part-time member of the Comic Cave, his entire comic collection, he's like, I got 8,000, 9,000 comics or whatever. Is he on your phone?
It's like that with music too. You know, everybody's like,
that's true.
I have every song from The Weeknd, and it's like, what do you mean you have every song? I'm like, you don't have the albums? They were like, no. I was like, what am I gonna listen to? My car doesn't have a CD player, and it's like,
I've always been somebody that I like the physical copy. I have a vinyl collection, and like I'm still about that. It's something about having it.
I don't know. I've gone the opposite direction. Whenever I have my PS5, I've gotten the not the CD one, but I guess it's more convenient.
But I don't see modern games becoming, I don't know, valued like that. I guess
you can sell the PS5 that has the most modern game on there.
Right.
But see, another thing too is when you have those type of things like that, you got to think about it. You know, not everybody's living in a 5-bedroom home.
Right.
You know, you may live in a 1-bedroom apartment and you don't have all that room for storage. You know, I worked with people years ago when they were stealing DVDs real big. they're like, the guy literally, the manager, he's like, why would anybody want the DVD without the case? And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, they don't care about it. You know, if they didn't care to buy it, they're not gonna
Right.
care if it's in a case or not. But he was real big on, he wanted a hard copy. A lot of people not anymore. You know, it's download this, it's download that. It's different. You know.
You can get more memory.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, before we wrap up this awesome video, we want to definitely go back and thank the people at Culture World, the gentlemen and the ladies at Culture World. But also, before we started this video, you said you're doing some stuff with some wrestling, like you have wrestlers come down. I mean, come on down to Culture World, of course, and pick your niche. But also, like, meet some of the stuff, the awesome people that you have coming down here.
We had Pillars of Destiny come through. They're up and coming, and they do all the circuits from Colorado all the way to San Antonio, all over. And they've wrestled against big name people. Those guys came through. They did a signing for us. We have a boxer coming through this weekend, Carlos Hernandez. He's coming through. He's gonna do a signing for us. We have Legacy's gonna be coming through. He's gonna do a signing for us.
Evil Ways.
Evil
You
Ways.
guys got that shirt back there.
Yeah, we try to show love to everybody. We have some local talent here in the area that's coming through. They're inkers. Steven Strange, you know, we got guys like that trying to show the love to everybody locally.
Wait, Doctor Strange?
No, not Dr. Strange.
How do you guys promote that stuff? Is it just on social media?
We do social media, yes sir.
Okay.
We do Instagram, we do Facebook. We try to do every platform. That way you can get it that way, because there's some
Right.
people that don't even check anything, you know.
Right.
That word of mouth is not quite out there anymore, but it's still there, you know.
For sure.
So
I have a
most
crazy
definitely.
concept. Out of all the store owners that we've interviewed and all the store owners, you know, private store owners that we've done, you know what I wish I'd say to them? And I'll say to you now that TV doesn't exist. There's some TV out there, but sure, it's all about streaming and social media. Make your own commercial and put it on social media.
We actually have a commercial. Pillars of Destiny did a commercial for us. They
I saw
walked
that.
through.
I got hype. I don't even like wrestling. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
he
man.
came through and they did a real good commercial for Fago Root Beer, you know, and it's like, wow, you know, I didn't think they were gonna do that, but they're about to get ready to go out and perform that night, and they said, let's do a commercial before we leave, and I'm like, wow.
Come
So-
on down
Awesome.
to Culture
You
World.
show
where you can-
love. They show love back.
Yeah,
type of
that's
deal.
most definitely.
What are some other like pop-ups or events? Is there other places that people can catch you guys at? coming up?
We have different things that are coming up shortly. It's coming up quick. We'll be at the Autorama. That's coming up Thanksgiving weekend, the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be doing that. I'm not sure what wrestler they're going to bring to that event, but I saw Counts Customs is going to be there. So now it's time to start stocking up on photos or cars, because I know they have stuff out there. That way you can get some at your booth. You can come by and see us. But also, too, get it signed after, you know, if it doesn't sell.
Right.
We'll be doing that. We have Fitterman's autograph show that he's gonna be doing in January, and I know that there's always stuff coming up. You have people pop-ups, you have stuff like that's always going, and just word of mouth talking to people.
Right.
You still have that old school way, friends or family that you meet,
And they
to
tell
say-
two friends, and they tell two friends,
Exactly.
and so on.
because like anything too in business, one good thing happens, not everybody knows about it. But that one bad experience, everybody's gonna know about
That's
you.
true.
And
Yeah.
9 out of 10 are gonna know about it. You know, but it's just human nature on that. But hopefully we just keep on passing the word to come on
Yeah.
down. So
Well, I know Chris is about to be riding y'all's coattails, so
Definitely, because they're heavily involved in the wrestling world. And as you guys know, your boy loves the wrestling world. So maybe we can do something in the future with some wrestling here at Culture World. But Russell, pull up the questions, and while we say
we
that,
have some fun questions.
we have
for
some
you.
fun questions for you guys, and definitely we want to come back and hopefully we'll see, like, yeah. And I mean, you can come down to Culture World and get awesome stuff like this belt right here. I mean, these VHSs, and also some wrestling stuff, some signed wrestling stuff, some autographed photos. I mean, come on down. Come on down to your local dealer.
Not just comics and superheroes and stuff. Yeah, you got all the pop culture. So, all right. So these are about to be 10 questions, rapid fire. Try to answer them as quickly as you possibly can.
Okay.
Like I said, before this, we were like, "Don't sweat, man. This is a good conversation. Now's the time to sweat." All right.
okay.
First question: who is your favorite? I'm not going to say just comic book publisher. Who's your favorite publishing company as a whole?
So you mean like Marvel and that type of stuff, or
Marvel, DC, even wrestling. Like what?
Who's your favorite? Hasbro. You got the Mattels. You got the everybody.
probably
content
Hasbro.
creator? Like, there you go.
Okay, so for the comic part of it, anything, probably the Hasbro.
Because you guys are in everything.
Probably
so.
Hasbro, because that was me growing up. That was me as a kid, you know, getting that figure. So
Yeah.
the Hasbro, the WWE Hasbro. So
Man, I don't understand the whole Hasbro thing. You're obsessed with it. They're obsessed. All right.
I mean, they're the biggest toy company around right now. I mean, it's like I think when we were kids, it's Mattel.
yeah,
I mean, it's still Hasbro was. It was Kenner.
yeah.
Toy Biz.
Yeah.
I love Toy Business.
Even you had the Galoob WCW. You know, you going down to Fillmore Pharmacy with your parents,
Yeah.
and you get you a Ron Simmons with the belt. You know,
Is McFarlane Toys just like a whole other thing? Or?
McFarlane Toys is like a brand, but it's
Yeah.
not like a toy. Do they make toys? I don't think it's a toy maker.
a lot of
They make toys.
They
They
have
make
the
toys?
sports picks.
You have
the
some
sports
McFarlane
picks.
stuff?
Those are all McFarlane's over there.
All right. So we got
you
some
name
more
it,
stuff
it's
to look
there.
at.
So
And then we're gonna have question number 2. So, who is your favorite hero or villain?
Venom. Going to your local comic book store on New Comic Book Day, or putting it on set aside. Here's $5 to hold it for me to get all that type of stuff. But Venom, and I've every time I get to meet Sam De La Rosa, I always get everything signed, and he's like, "Where'd you get that Hot Wheel from?" I'm like, "I got Venom Hot Wheels for you to sign." And
The movies? What do you think about the movies?
the movies, yeah, I love the movies. I got his shoes up there, the Venom shoes at the top. Venom is a big on that. So
Okay, so this is gonna be kind of like a side question. Hold on, what was Homeboy's name? Why is my who played Venom in the old movie? Tom Hardy or what's his name?
Oh, Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
No.
There we go.
Hardy.
Hardy?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Hardy.
As against Topher
Hardy.
Grace.
All right. On the note of heroes and villains, if you were to have a superpower, what would it be?
Erase your memory.
Erase your
Erase
memory.
your memory.
This sounds like there's some
Yeah.
backstory to that.
No, just bad things that happen. Just erase your memories and
And like
just,
you said,
go.
when bad things happen, people remember that, not the
Oh
good
yeah,
stuff. So,
oh yeah.
Hey.
You work in retail, man. That's a big deal. A big deal. You know, what do they call Karens now? So,
Yeah.
but most definitely,
So, with that power, would you be a good guy or a bad guy?
probably bad.
Hell yeah.
Probably bad.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So next question that we normally have is, what is your favorite illustrator? But trying to figure out how to switch that one up.
Who
See,
is
we
your
should've
favorite
been
toy designer?
toy designer?
Or figure designer?
Probably
Or even just set, like what set of toys that came out, you're like, that looks pretty good. That looks awesome.
the had to revert back to wrestling, but the new legends that came out, those are great because, you know, once again I'm gonna revert back to Jake the Snake, you know, Mr. T, all those type of deals. Those is what we grew up watching, so they're making those look very good. Of course, they went up in price. You know, they're like $29 now at Target and wherever else, and it's like, wow, you know. So, but they look good though. They look real good instead of just a body, you know. So
Our next question is very irrelevant here because who's your favorite
Well,
writer? But hold on.
I have a way to twist it.
Me too. Was there ever a time that you had zero money in your bank account, but you wanted something, but you know what? You got to eat. Because I'm looking at a lot of stuff right here, and I'm like, you know what? Eating is okay, but that's going to be on my shelf forever. Was there something? Is there ever a time? Was there ever a figure or a item, statue, where you're like, you know what? I don't have the money, but I'll do it.
yes. So we have a show we do, TriStar, and I remembered how much gas I have in the tank, you know, and it was downtown. I'm like, I think I can make it back home, you know.
Hell yeah.
So I ended up spending, and at that time I thought I was, you know, big, you know. I'm gonna spend $5,000. I spent $5,000. I'm like, okay, get home, and then it sits in. It's like, wow, hold on, you know, mortgage is due, this is due. Now it's time to start selling it off, you know, and that's why you buy multiples of things. But this, you couldn't pass it up. It was a collection
Right.
you couldn't pass up. And a lot of the Dallas Cowboy stuff came from this guy, you know, that he was from Dallas. He knew all those guys personally. But when you're willing to let it all go very cheap, you're like, yeah, it's time to stock up and go. And when that happened, I come home and I'm like, what am I going to do now? You know, what am I going to do now? But believe it or not, that's what started more of a hustle part of it. Because a lot of this stuff I just kept for myself. I just kept it, and it was like, you know what? I can do something with this. $75 a helmet is not bad, you know? So that's where a lot of it started out on the autograph part of it. And then you got friends that, hey, I got 10 of these signed. You want them? I'm like, yeah, I'll take them, you know. But yeah, that's
Somebody
what
can relate
sticks.
to that. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions because that question made me think of another question that I am curious about. So, first question: within the wrestling world, there are stories for each of your heels and your whatnots.
Your heels and your faces.
There you go. So who do you think has the most compelling story?
Oh,
This is not a Chris question. Shut
I
up.
know. Yeah.
Probably. Once again, it's gonna go old school. The Macho Man versus Hogan. The whole Miss Elizabeth and he touched her butt getting in the ring and he didn't love
beautiful.
it. And he went crazy, you know.
That's
But-
my woman.
Yep. We watched The Dark Side of the Ring the other day, and I was like, "Wow, that got
I've
real."
seen some of that. That
Yeah,
stuff
that
is
got
insane.
real. You know what I mean? They have Dark Side of the '90s. It blew my mind. I'm like, "That's what happened behind that," you know. But yeah,
They have a
right
new one, The
there-
Territories. Watch that one. That one's great.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
called
yeah,
The Territories
yeah,
with
yeah.
The Rock. But,
Yeah, no, you're right on that one. It sits in your head because when you're watching as a kid, you're like, "Oh my gosh, you know, Hogan
He
just
touched
did
your
this."
booty?
Yeah. And this is before that time period. You know,
Right.
you're like, "Okay, what happened?" All of a sudden, you saw him on her shoulder or his shoulder, and it was like, "Wow."
Was that like
okay.
the first time something like that had happened, like a relationship?
Pretty
twist or
much
whatever?
because she was the first lady of wrestling. Of,
Oh, yeah, she
of
was,
the,
yeah.
of the,
She was beautiful,
of
yeah.
the ringside. You know,
Okay.
you had Moolah and all those ladies, but she was the first one of that.
she was the first beautiful woman.
She was the manager
Rest- yeah,
types.
she-
Yeah.
Got you.
And then 2 friends, the Mega Powers. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get into this right now. Go ahead.
To get us back on track a little bit, what do you dislike about pop culture community?
So a lot of it to where it's okay. So and we see it all the time to where you spend a lot of money, and I know you've probably seen it in shows where you spend a lot of money on something, so this has to be worth something. Or it says limited edition on it, but it's not limited. You know, if they have to put it on there to tell you it's limited, it's probably not. And it's very hard to say, you know, you see it to where it's like, oh, I have a limited edition Stone Cold. Yeah, but they released 50,000 of them just in that style only. It's hard to tell somebody that's like that's not limited. You
Somebody
know?
that's got it in their mind.
Well, like the person that came and gave you the was it the card, and their grandfather had it, and they were like, it's not a real signature.
Yes, it's the ball. It's tough because that's somebody's stuff. We have it all the time where people come through and it's like, hey, I got this collection of cards. Okay, cool. And it's like, you said they were old cards. I don't realize it, but they're from 1990, 89. I'm like, that's not old.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Right.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm old now. So
Yeah.
it's like, wow, you know.
Well,
it's-
a comic book that was printed in '95 is almost like a comic book that was printed yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah,
But believe it or
relatively.
not, you know, we were looking up something the other day and it was like, I think it was Venom. And then it was like, oh, I remember that cover. It was the Wild Thing cover. Awesome cover. It die cut this, and this. But it's like $3. You know, it's like, wow, you carried this book your whole childhood to when you get older, it's going to pay for your college. And it's like, yep, no.
I'm
it's
strongly
$3.
That's
believing
about
in
what
that.
That's
Yeah.
about what my education's worth.
Yeah, yep. So you get it. You get it all the time. But then you have one that's like, oh yeah, first appearance. You didn't realize it when you were that, you know, young.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, first appearance of Gambit, and it's like, oh, that's $250. Okay, cool. You know, whatever it is.
Right.
Who would have known? You know, who would have known that was that's how it was
Pokemon.
gonna be.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I
that's it.
knew. I love Gambit.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So if you had, what is the one thing that you want for your collection, or do you have it already and you prize it above everything
The
else?
creme de la creme.
So my thing that I would love to have, it was the Megatron Generation 1. And not you don't have to be in the box, just complete, you know, Generation 1.
Was that one where he turns into a gun, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They have a lot of them that are repops, not repops, but like the anniversaries of, but they don't transform or they're a statue or
Right.
stuff
That
like
one
that.
Canceled or something?
Yes,
or-
it wasn't
Yeah.
allowed in the States, and then they
Yeah.
just got rid of it. And then when they brought it back, you know, he's a tank or he's a,
Right.
not even a gorilla. He's another character, and it's
Well, because
like,
it was a gun. It
Right.
looked like a real gun.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I heard about that.
so
Uh,
that would be my thing that I would want a G1 Megatron.
So if you were in any other profession, what would you like to pursue?
Besides,
If you weren't in
Doing
the
this?
pop culture world, what would you do?
probably in the music business.
Music?
Because you see a lot of it. You see a lot of the music side of it. You know, you have an up and coming artist that
yeah.
you know, you see that they sound the same as the other person, and it's like, do you know who this is? You know, there's artists that come out that all the time, or
Right.
you listen to a beat and it's like, oh, that's a song from the 80s. And The Weeknd did it big time.
Right. Right.
To where it's like he brought songs back from the 80s that didn't even, they were one hit wonders then.
Right.
But then when he did it, it was like, wow, okay. But now these kids are like, oh, The Weeknd did that. I'm like, Weeknd didn't do
Like
that.
that Snow, what's that, the Informer song?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was like, yeah, Informer from the 90s. No one gave a shit about that song until I think somebody remixed it. Some reggaeton or some Spanish artist remixed it, like, oh shit, that's a good song.
I
now.
think when The Weeknd did it, was when you're talking in your sleep, the secrets that you keep.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Right.
he used every song, every word from the original song. I'm like, I wonder if he paid those guys all the money
There's some type
do
of
that,
royalties
you know?
that you have to do.
It has
that,
to be,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or you can pull the thing of who's Nirvana, you know, what was that? Who was that? I believe it was Kurt Cobain's.
Yeah.
He's like, who's that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Lil Nas X. He didn't even know who Nirvana was. And I'm like, how did that happen? You know, but they blessed him with, here's a song, you can take it. And it's like, wow.
There's
okay.
no way he didn't know who
Exactly.
Nirvana was. Like, what are you talking
Exactly.
about?
Yeah. You hear that and it's like, but the music business would be a thing to be like, because you see it a lot. You know, you hear the songs, or once again, memories. Believe it or not, they say if you revisit your time period when you were happy or doing bad, what songs were you listening to that time? So if you go back, and you love listening to Slipknot, were you in a good time or a bad time of your life? You know, or what makes you go? What makes you? What do you listen to on the way to work?
Right.
You know, if you answer yourself that, you're like, wow, that's why bad things are always happening to me, because I love the Beach Boys and I was always drunk somewhere. You know, you never know.
This boy
You know?
said bad things are happening because I love the Beach Boys.
Yeah, you never know, man. That was your time period, you know.
So last but not least, and bringing this awesome interview to a close, if you could spend a week in a fantasy world, where would it be?
Fantasy world.
80s WWF. I'm just saying it right now.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Hey, you just admitted it's fake fantasy.
Probably the wrestling. It goes back to wrestling. You know, that's what you saw. You know, you saw that all the time. You know, we talked about the other day with Saturday morning cartoons. Once Saturday morning cartoons were over, wrestling here in Houston,
Wrestling Challenge.
You got to see wrestling from Houston. You know, then you went from there to, I believe at that time period, it wasn't even, I think it was called, I don't know what it was called. It was a replay of the wrestling. And then all of a sudden it was the nighttime. It was Saturday Night Titans, I believe.
Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah, Main Event.
Tuesday Night Titans, Saturday Night Main Event, and yeah.
And when you got later on, you know, there you go. You got Glam.
Monday Night Raw.
You got Glam coming on at 8 o'clock at night on UPN, you know, here in Houston. And it was like, wow, you know, the girls of wrestling, you know, ready to go. And it was, you saw those ladies later on. You didn't realize it, but you saw them later on that they ended up going to WWE or they trained.
Right.
But probably wrestling and like you said, the fantasy part of it.
Hell yeah.
Probably wrestling.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us, Captain Karl, here at Culture World. You can come on down. Please give the address of your location down here.
I got you. It's 6902 FM 2920 in Spring, Texas.
Nice. So come on down. But
Where else can they
bring your
follow?
pocketbook. Yeah. Where else can they follow?
You can follow us on Instagram, Culture World _ Culture World 89. You can follow myself, Karl Gaithan, on TikTok, on Instagram.
Going right now. I got you.
So once again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chris, along with my head of life, Mr.
Russ.
And hold on, wait a minute. So Captain Karl, we're going to put you on the spot right here and there. We have a certain festival coming up in February 18th, 2023. Well, can people find you there?
I will be there.
Oh my God!
Myself and the whole Culture World team will be there.
Legacy's going to be there too, so y'all need to go check out our interview with him.
We're here with our special guest, Mr.
Karl Gaithan from Culture World. So.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris. My head of life is Russ. Peace.